The Baltimore Ravens, man, what can I say? My favorite NFL team. This team offensively has been amazing this year. Lamar Jackson looked like he's on his way to his third MVP. Derrick Henry looks like one of the best offseason additions in the NFL going into last offseason, of course, because, he's putting up some insane numbers. The wide receiver core, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman's finally having his breakout year. Traded for Deontay Johnson. The offense is just clicking. Everything looks great. Blowing out teams, putting up insane numbers every single week. But notice how I said on the offensive side of the ball, because with this Baltimore Raven team, there is for sure an Achilles heel, and that happens to be, the defensive side of the ball, because they have not been good this year. After being one of the best units in the NFL last year, they have definitely downgraded for sure, and I think there's multiple reasons about it, and I think this team deserves a breakdown because of it, because there is so much going on with this football team right now that it needs to be discussed. Before I get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Follow all my socials there in the description. Of course, this is my favorite NFL team, so, be prepared for a good one and a couple of crash outs. To start off the video, I'm going to talk about how good the offense is. I'm just going to give it a quick breakdown real quick. Lamar Jackson, he's been playing absolutely out his mind this season. He's on his way to a third MVP. Look at these stats. 24 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I think that's honestly absolutely ridiculous. Everyone's like, oh, Lamar turns over the ball, 2 interceptions. There should be no reason why anyone else wins MVP this year but Lamar Jackson. He's the only guy who should go ahead and win the award currently right now. And then you got Derrick Henry. He has a touchdown in every single game this season, and he's looking like the Offensive Player of the Year award. The Ravens are about to have the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year this year. This offense has just been, pairing Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry is one of the most smartest moves ever made. And then you got the wide receiver core, Zay Flowers. He's had an outstanding season. We traded for Deontay Johnson a couple of weeks ago. That's also going to be a great move. He hasn't played the best so far, but that's only because he hasn't played a ton of snaps yet. But trust the method. Deontay Johnson's going to be crucial on this team. And then you got Rashad Bateman. He's been having his breakout season this year. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been playing great. And you know what? I'm very happy because us Raven fans were trying to hype him up for the past couple of years. He hasn't been healthy. This year, he's finally been healthy, and he's playing absolutely well in that wide receiver 2/3 role. And then, of course, we also got Mark Andrews at tight end, which at the beginning of the year, people were calling him washed, but I feel like he's beat the allegations. We also got Isaiah Likely. It's just that, I think the reason why Mark Andrews isn't getting used as much is because he isn't like, the offense isn't the same. It isn't what it used to be. Of course, Andrews would be that guy, on third down. Lamar would throw to that guy that he trusts with, but now the offense has so many players that Mark Andrews doesn't have to be the #1 receiver in this offense. The ball can definitely be spread out now. But yeah, I just wanted to run through the offense real quick because everybody knows how good Todd Monken has been with that offense this year. He's done an outstanding job, but you know what? That isn't the weakness about the Baltimore Ravens team. This isn't why the team's getting a video. The offense, I could go over that for hours about every little detail, every little aspect, why it's so great, but it's time to talk about, the weakness on this team being that defense, man. Before I go ahead and completely shred the defense and talk about how bad it is, I'm going to talk about, the people that we lost in the offseason. Of course, we lost Mike McDonald, our defensive coordinator. He is the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks now, and I miss him, man. Him in Baltimore, it was just something special. We should have just gave up the bag to keep him, or went ahead and gave him the head coaching job and let Harbaugh retire. But Harbaugh's like, nah, I'm not retiring. I'm staying in Baltimore forever. But that's a whole nother can of worms, and I ain't even getting into all that. But Mike McDonald, phenomenal coach for sure. I gotta give a ton of props to him and what he did in Baltimore. So went ahead and lost Patrick Queen, which I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that he was not returning to Baltimore. If you're a Raven fan and you pay attention to things like this, you knew he wasn't returning. We went ahead and traded for Roquan Smith and paid him all that money. There was no way we were paying 2 linebackers top money. It just wasn't gonna happen, and it wasn't gonna fly. And the Ravens went ahead and saw we had a good Patrick Queen replacement, and that is, of course, that being Trent Simpson. Now, I'm not saying he's been a generational talent or anything this year, but he's been pretty solid for this Baltimore Raven defense for sure. And of course, you got Jadeveon Clowney. He went ahead and signed with the Panthers, and man, I really wanted them to go ahead and bring him back. Him and Mike McDonald are all around great. That man had a ton of sacks, and he was putting up numbers that he hasn't put up in years, and now he's stuck in Carolina, which is, kind of sad. I would definitely say those are the biggest 3 losses to this defense last season. You know what? It's all right. You went to the AFC Championship. You got a ton of contracts. Players are going to demand more money. You can't pay everyone. It's like, all right. I understand it. Which I ain't gonna lie, guys. It's time to go ahead and talk about what's wrong with this defense. They are the 32nd ranked pass defense in the NFL. This defense, passing defense, this secondary is Swiss cheese. Oh my God. You see it week in and week out. This defense sucks in the secondary. The linebacker room's okay. The defense is so bad. You're ranked worst in the league, just all around garbage. You would be like, how is it that bad? You guys got some solid players there. You got Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens. Brandon Stevens has not been the same this year whatsoever. Marcus Williams has been getting cooked all year. Eddie Jackson's been getting cooked all year. And we went ahead and traded for Tre'Davious White, which he's also been getting cooked all year with the Rams. So, you know, the only good things out of it, I would say Kyle Hamilton. He's been Kyle Hamilton, but, you know, now he's hurt with an ankle sprain. So, you know, not having Kyle Hamilton for a couple games, that's gonna suck. That's for sure. We got Marlon Humphrey. He's been good at getting interceptions this year, but he hasn't been, you know, the all-around perfect corner. And then, of course, we drafted Nate Wiggins in the draft. He's been all right. He's made some plays, definitely making some rookie plays, though, that's for sure. And if you don't believe me, that's saying this defense sucks, even though I obviously showed you guys the stat that it's the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. Let's bring up some of the stats of the quarterbacks and wide receivers we have played this year. We got, you know, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who cooked us twice. If you saw, they had generational games versus us, especially Jamar Chase. 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on that Thursday game. Come on now. Jameis Winston went ahead and had a great game, and he went ahead and beat us with Cedric Tillman. Baker Mayfield, even though we were blowing him out for a majority of the game, and Baker still ended the game with like 300 yards. Like, it wasn't safe whatsoever. I ain't gonna lie, if Evans and Godwin didn't get hurt in that game, who knows what would have happened. Yes, we were up by like what, 30 points? I don't care. Leads are never safe with this Baltimore Raven team. Jaden Daniels had a decent game versus us, not his best, but he definitely had a great game. Dak Prescott almost made a comeback versus us in what, week 3? He had over 300 yards passing after doing nothing in the first half. So you know what? We've been getting cooked by quarterbacks and wide receivers all season. And you know what the outlier is? Remember that Sunday night football game week 4 where we absolutely dog walked the Buffalo Bills? I don't know how we kept Josh Allen in check. I don't know how. He's the one outlier, which I'm still trying to figure out how we were able to go ahead and keep Josh Allen in check, and how he didn't throw for like 300 yards and Shakir didn't have 2 touchdowns on us. That game is for sure an outlier out of, you know, the good old function graph. But I think this thing to go ahead and say about the secondary, it's November. This secondary is just not going to go ahead and fix itself. It's an obvious problem with this team. I'm talking about this and saying, you know, it's so November, it's not going to just go ahead and fix himself. What are we going to do? Because if we have the 32nd ranked pass defense in the NFL going into the playoffs, we're so cooked. Because once playoff time is here, teams start locking in and they are not playing to lose whatsoever. I mean, I dare you to give us a matchup versus the Houston Texans in the playoffs. CJ Stroud and Nico Collins are about to go off, and we haven't even played them yet, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Also, Zach Orr, dog, as a defensive coordinator, you have definitely not been the best Mike McDonald replacement. He's had moments where, you know, he's had some good things, like that game versus Josh Allen. He had a great game. He had a great performance with the defense, knew what to do. Like, another thing I gotta go ahead and talk about is the pass rush, because the pass rush has also been kind of mid this year. We had the triple crown last year: most turnovers, most sacks, all that good stuff. We were so great. Yeah, the pass rush kind of sucks this year. We have been so good at not getting to the quarterback this year. Justin Matabike, I'm not gonna even hop on your case. You keep getting double teamed every single game because no one else is able to go ahead and make pressure. He had a 3-sack game versus the Bengals, so you know what? He's trying to beat the overpaid allegations. One person I will admit who has been good with the pass rush is Kyle Van Noy. He's been a great re-signing. If we didn't re-sign this man, our defense would probably have no sacks right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but he's also been great. And it's like, well, I think the pass rush can go ahead and fix itself more than the secondary can go ahead and fix himself. That's for sure. I think if anything, the pass rush definitely has a better chance at fixing itself because, you know, they got some players on there. Kyle Van Noy, Justin Matabike. We were really relying on Owe and Ajabo to go ahead and break out this year, and that really hasn't happened either. That's who the Ravens were really relying on to go ahead and break out, and it did not happen whatsoever. But, you know, talking about how bad the secondary's been this year, let's talk about the Ravens' future matchups versus quarterbacks this year. I'm so excited. Or as I like to call it, upcoming Swiss cheese matchups. So we play Russell Wilson twice. We play the Steelers next week. You know, I give Russ about 300 yards and, you know, George Pickens 120. Play Justin Herbert in the Chargers. I swear if you get cooked by Greg Roman, I'm gonna be so frustrated to the fact that you're letting Greg Roman cook your defense, Zach, or Greg Roman. There will be conversations that need to be made if that happens. And then we play the Eagles, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Hurts going for 400 yards that game, AJ going for 200 on us. I'm not gonna lie, he's getting 2 touchdowns as well. And then on Christmas we play CJ Stroud. Yeah, by then Nico Collins will be back. Stroud going for 350, Nico Collins 150 yards. And we play the New York Giants. I already see the unnecessary loss because for some reason Lamar's only NFC loss is to the Giants. I swear if you lose to the tanking Giants at the end of the season and Malik Neighbors goes off, I'm gonna be like, well, I told y'all here. And then we play Jameis Winston once again. That I'm not really worried about. That's one of the last weekends of the season. I'm really worried about the Steeler, Eagle, Charger, and Texan game because now's the time this team needs to go ahead and win. Of course, that Steeler matchup next week is huge, man, because, you know, if the Ravens win that, they're leading in the division once again, which the Steelers have actually been unreal this year, and that has a very sour taste in my mouth mouth that I just said that, but it's honestly true. That leads me into my final statement of this video. Will the offense be enough for the Ravens to go ahead and even win the Super Bowl? Because, you know, when you talk about this Baltimore Raven team, Lamar Jackson looking like he's going to win his 3rd MVP, is it going to be enough? Because, man, having the 32nd ranked pass defense going into an AFC championship game versus the Chiefs sounds like it would be the death of me. DeAndre Hopkins' legacy game in the AFC championship to lose again, that would break my heart. Or it definitely worries me for sure, but I feel like the offense is one of the best offenses. But I feel like the offense is the best offense in the NFL, and they're just going to have to carry every single week. Just every week, they're going to have to put the team on their back and carry. There's nothing really else they can go ahead and do. It isn't like they can go ahead and make trades or call people up. The deadline's passed. There's nothing they can really do, I feel like. It's just time for the offense to cook every single week. Pray the defense doesn't go ahead and give up enough big plays, because that's, you know, I think that might be the method and the strategy that they're going to have to rock with. Which, guys, I really guess what it is. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry in the offense. Go ahead and, you know, cook up every single week, because the Baltimore Ravens are going to need it, because you know what? Defense is the Achilles heel of the Baltimore Ravens. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. It is very much appreciated. Comment how you guys feel about the Baltimore Ravens. Do you think they'll make it to the Super Bowl this year? I hopefully hope so. Yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. So if you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.